Hello everyone and welcome back to Autocrat. We are starting the next part in our journey, which is the Posthomerica. This is going to be part 1, episode 71, in case you were wondering. And it is called Allies, everywhere. They're everywhere.
But not a drop to drink. And all that. Yes, as my co-host here says, we're in a new source today, which means a new opportunity for me to play the jingle. Go.
It's a sauce, but don't put it on pasta.
This source is, as you point out, the Posthomerica, or The Fall of Troy, written by one Quintus Smyrnaeus.
Why did he have such a complicated name? Did his
Gotcha.
parents hate him?
I'm assuming he was the fifth son, or his father was the fifth son. He's a Roman, as far as that name suggests he's a Roman immediately, and Quintus was sometimes used for the fifth son. Because imagination. So this source will accompany us right until the end of the Trojan War.
I still feel like he wasn't a favourite child with a name like this.
Alright, we're adding to our canon of sources. Quintus Smyrnaeus was the least favourite child. Anyway, this source accompanies us until then because, as you might have realised, Hector being killed at the end of the Iliad doesn't actually end the war.
No, it doesn't. Actually, it barely has started, as it seems.
Yeah, well, we're 90% of the way through it, but, you know, as you can guess, I'm sure it's going to go really well for the Trojans.
I'm sure. Let's get started. Tell us all about it.
Well, we open with the Trojans cowering in the city after Hector's funeral, in fear of Achilles. However, help unexpectedly arrives for the struggling city. From the land of Thermodon, in modern-day Turkey, I believe, a force arrives led by someone called Penthesilea.
Okay, back up a bit. Who is that?
Well, she is the daughter of Ares by a woman called Otrera.
Okay.
Let that name sink in for a bit. Otrera. Anyway.
Yeah, that person's parents also hated them.
Maybe she's a sister of Quintus Smyrnaeus.
Maybe.
More importantly, though, Penthesilea is queen of the Amazons. That's right, for the first time since, I believe, Heracles, the Amazons have showed up on the scene once again. Penthesilea is the sister of Hippolyta, who I think we mentioned in the context of Theseus, and she's been dealing with a lot of stuff since Hippolyta died, not least the Furies hounding her for that death. Don't worry about it. Regardless, the Amazon warrior women show up in the city and the Trojans throng around them, thrilled and actually daring to hope for once. Priam is heartened and leads Penthesilea into the palace. He offers her gifts and says there's more where that came from if she can save Troy. Huh? Please, please.
Also, if she gets the hint, because what kind of gift is he offering? Is he offering himself?
I don't think so.
Well, because you know the phrase, hey, there's plenty more where that came from. It came from him, meaning there's more of him.
I don't know if it's phrased exactly like that, but yes, Priam walks in a plumber costume. This is a fully stereotypical scene now. Penthesilea is just mildly confused. Now, she pledges, in return, that she's going to defeat Achilles. Because why not? Start out strong, you know?
Yeah.
Andromache, remember that's Hector's widow and the mother of his son Astyanax, objects to this, stating that Penthesilea is no match for Achilles.
Yeah, I mean, even Hector couldn't kill him, right?
Yeah, so in summary, Penthesilea is mad if she thinks she can do it. We get a standard feast that we always seem to get when literally anything happens and night falls. Penthesilea goes to sleep and gets a divine dream about her father Ares urging her to go and fight Achilles. Little does she know, though, that this dream is meant to undo Troy's salvation.
Ooh.
So, she leaps up when morning comes and gets herself ready for battle. By the way, during this montage we learn she has blonde hair.
Nice.
I don't know why we keep needing to specify the hair and eye colour of Greek heroes, but whatever.
Blonde hair, maybe she's me.
You're already Cassandra, you can't also be Penthesilea. Pick a lane.
You mean pick a goddess?
Neither of these people are goddesses. She grabs up her sword, 2 spears in her shield hand and a halberd in the other hand. She laughs and urges the Trojans and Amazons forth to battle. The Trojans are heartened, and even those who were petrified of Achilles before surge forwards. Priam prays for victory, and an eagle flies overhead with a dove in its claws.
Alright, that probably means something.
Well, this is apparently a bad sign, as Priam believes it to mean he will never see Penthesilea alive again.
Alright, sure, why not?
Is there a standard book of instructions for how to interpret omens? Because so far they really seem to be all over the place.
Hey, just believe in the program.
Yeah, like if it was a sparrow the eagle was holding, does that mean she's coming back, or does it mean she's getting a haircut? Like, what does it mean?
No, obviously it means she's getting her nail done.
Oh, right. I don't know how you got there, but fine. Now, the Greeks are confused as to who exactly this whirlwind is who's rallying the Trojans. Still, they rush at them all the same, because solve your problems with punching.
Yeah.
Penthesilea turns the ground red with Greek blood. Diomedes kills 2 Amazons simultaneously, among other things, because of course he does, it's Diomedes. But I'm not going to go into the standard list involved in fighting of who kills who punches who, and the like. Penthesilea vows to avenge Hector's death, mocking the bravest of the Greeks for not daring to show up and fight her. Then, one Trojan gets an idea. He gets it in his head to say that surely this is one of the gods come down to fight with them.
Ooh.
Maybe it's Athena, or no, Eris. No, Enyo. Not that he knows what's, coming, obviously. Penthesilea keeps being an iconic killing machine and spurs the watching Trojan women on the walls to fight as well. After all, they say, aren't they made from the same stuff as men?
Not really.
Well, still, feminism in an ancient text, who would have thought?
Yeah, I guess.
But no, somebody called Theano talks them down from rushing headlong into the fight. So no, that lasted for probably about 2 lines. Everybody get back to your stereotypical roles now, please. Meanwhile, the Trojan-Amazon coalition is about to reach the Greek fleet. Ajax and Achilles decide to get involved in the battle at this point, hearing the din outside. Nice of them to show up, at the end. This is definitely welcome news for the Greeks.
A bit like how the US showed up at the end of the World Wars.
World War I satire. Too soon? Let us know. Penthesilea throws a spear at Achilles, but it doesn't do anything. Neither does the one she throws at Ajax. Ajax runs off to fight some Amazons, but leaves Penthesilea for Achilles to deal with.
Yeah, she's Achilles' problem now.
Yeah, she's strong, but he knows Achilles will deal with her no problem. It's Achilles. Achilles mocks Penthesilea for a bit before throwing a spear through her horse and killing it.
Ouch!
In fact, it also hits Penthesilea and she falls to the ground. And she dies.
Oh, I was rooting for her.
Yeah, same, but no, she's gone. That Trojan who was guessing she's a goddess must be looking really crestfallen by now.
Alright, well that was useless.
Yeah, this sends the Trojans into a panic. Achilles mocks her dying body for a bit, which...
That seems unnecessary.
Yeah. There's then a creepy moment where everyone thinks about how beautiful she is, even in death, and the soldiers hope that their wives will seem as beautiful to them as Penthesilea does when they go home.
That's creepy.
Yeah. Achilles still feels bad for brutally murdering her. After all, he might have made her his queen.
Alright.
I doubt she gets a say in this, much like the Briseis school of thinking.
Yeah, doesn't he have a son and a baby mama?
Yes, he has a son and a baby mama, you creepy, creepy man. Ares, up on Olympus, remember Penthesilea's father, is not happy about what just happened.
Yeah, I bet.
He rushes down towards the battlefield and intimidates some people for a bit, but Zeus makes it clear by a lightning bolt that Ares interfering is not a good idea. Ares really, really wants to defy Zeus at this point and just kill Achilles. You know, who's going to notice? Still, he remembered that Zeus had a lot of sons die in combat and hasn't done anything about it.
Yeah, plus you don't want to mess with Zeus.
You don't, but I think judging Zeus by his poor parenting standards doesn't mean you should be a similarly poor parent as a general life lesson. So, Ares leaves. The Greeks loot the bodies, but Achilles is still fixated on the dead Penthesilea and feeling sorrow at her death. Thersites mocks him for being fascinated by her, and Achilles responds by hitting Thersites near his ear so hard that his teeth fall out and he falls dead.
Yeah, don't mess with Achilles.
Yeah, don't. Diomedes is upset about this, as Thersites was a family member of his, and Diomedes has to be prevented from rushing at Achilles.
Yeah, I can imagine someone holding him back, he's not worth it, dude, he's not worth it.
Hear me out. I want a Diomedes-Achilles fight.
Yes.
They're both terrifying. Who would win? I'm rooting for Diomedes. Menelaus and Agamemnon also think Penthesilea is pretty, and arrange for her body to be carried to Troy for burial upon Priam's request. Book 1 ends with funerals on both sides.
Book 2 opens the next day. There's a doom and gloom feeling in Troy, but Priam tells them to take heart. There's another previously unnamed ally who's coming to the fight.
Another one?
Yeah.
We just did this.
This is Memnon, the son of Eos and the king of Ethiopia, who's bringing an army of Ethiopians with him to Troy.
Maybe that's why it took 9 years. He's been walking this whole time.
Polydamas isn't convinced and suggests that they just give the Greeks Helen.
Right.
Apparently, the other Trojans like the idea but don't dare speak up. Paris and Helen were apparently held in reverence.
Sure.
Paris calls him a coward and basically calls him a woman.
The more I hear of Paris, the less I like him.
Yeah. Polydamas points out that they're only suffering because of him and Paris has nothing to say as an answer.
Well, you wouldn't.
We now cut to Memnon arriving in Troy and once again the Trojans thronging to see the Ethiopians. There's another banquet and Memnon tells the story of the old form of immortality given to his dad by Eos.
Fair.
This is, of course, Cisonus, who I think we spoke a bit about in the previous episode.
Yeah, I think we mentioned him. He's the one who got immortality but not eternal youth and turned into a cicada as a result.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
They feast and tell stories and resolve to go out to fight the following morning. So there's more fighting the next day.
I'm getting real deja vu here.
Yeah, Achilles does some killing and then Nestor's sons get killed by a spear through the heart.
Ow!
Nestor wants some good old-fashioned vengeance, and he and his buddy rush at Memnon. However, he's got his mum, Ion, protecting him and deflecting spear blows. Memnon pushes the Greek back toward the Hellespont.
Right, all the way to the sea, basically.
Yeah. Nestor gets Achilles to help him as he's afraid that his son's body will be desecrated by the Ethiopians. Memnon throws a rock at Achilles, but it hits his shield. Memnon gets wounded by Achilles' spear, but also manages to wound Achilles. Then Memnon jeers at him and flexes his divine ancestry at him for a bit.
Yeah.
Achilles says, well, I'm a descendant of Zeus.
So,
so,
we touched
what's your point?
Oh, we touched a nerve there, I think.
Yeah. Achilles says he avenged Patroclus' death by killing Hector and is coming for Memnon now because of Antilochus' death.
Oh no, the angry chariot guy is dead.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have bullied those horses, mate, should you?
Yeah. So they fight, with different gods rooting for one or the other. Now, the outcome is predictable.
Memnon wins and everybody has a great time?
No, Achilles hits Memnon with a sword in the chest and he falls lifeless to the ground.
Oh, I so thought this time was going to be different than the exact other time we did this 10 seconds ago.
His corpse gets looted and Eos grieves, the sky going dark as she does. The wind scoops up her son's body and bears him away. His blood droplets being formed into a river.
Nice.
The Ethiopians are routed and flee at the sight of their king's death. The sun sets, with Eos coming down from the sky to mourn her son as 12 attendants look after her. She grieves, but will not leave the world in darkness to head down to the underworld to fetch her son back.
I mean, that's quite noble, in its own way.
The Ethiopians bury their dead king.
I'm not sure I get that, though, because the winds scooped him up before. Maybe it's a ceremonial thing, I wasn't sure.
Maybe they bury a piece of his brain that's on the ground, I don't know.
Lovely.
And that's how book 2 ends.
Yeah, well, that is the first part of the Posthomerica done. As we've said before, we're planning for 7 episodes in total. But until next time, thank you all for listening, and have a great week, everyone.
Have a great week. That should be fun.
Yeah? You liking the Posthomerica?
So far.